So I have this green screen now. All right, so I need to make 2 quick stops. We're going to Walmart and then Home Depot, because it turns out if you need something, there's a 98% chance you can get it at Walmart or Home Depot. Okay, so I'm back and you're probably wondering what I bought. Let me show you. So I got this super thin dowel for like $1.20 or something. I was gonna buy green duct tape, but if you've ever used that, you know it's super sticky, leaves a bunch of residue. So I found this frog tape, which is essentially green painter's tape. I think that'll help. I found this wooden post cap, which I think is gonna be a perfect stand. And then I bought not 1, not 2, but 5 Kit Kat bars, because there's a 98% chance I mess up more than once. Now, this isn't my first rodeo. I've made a lot of videos like this in the past, but I've focused on a lot of other things like pre-production, shot listing, lighting. In this video, I'm gonna focus primarily on editing, so I'll show you the brief kind of general setup, but then I wanna make this almost an editing tutorial because I feel like I'm always trying to speed through all that. Okay, so here's the plan. So I'm gonna take this fence post cap, find the center, mark it, and drill a hole through that. Next, I'm gonna cut this dowel and stick it inside that hole. Then I'm just gonna super glue a screw on top so I can attach whatever I want to it. And hey, would you look at that? I already did it. All right, so let me walk you through the setup real quick. This is pretty similar to what I've done in commercials in the past, so I'm not gonna go too in depth in it, but let's just kind of give you the overall tour. So like I said, I've got a green screen now, so that's just gonna be, the entire backdrop is just green. I'm gonna key it out, replace it in post. For lighting, I have 2 newer 480 LEDs, some random newer lights. One with a softbox, which is the key light, and then one that's gonna be a little bit dimmer, which is gonna be our fill light. For the camera setup, I've got a tripod with a pretty smooth pan tilt head, and on that is my camera, the EOS R, with my favorite lens, the Sigma 35mm f1.4 Art. Oh yeah, and then on the table, I've got this electronic Lazy Susan, super straightforward. It's got a motor, you plug it in, and it spins around, and I just put my contraption on top of that with a screw sticking straight up. The funny thing about this commercial is everything is gonna be done in post. I'm just gonna grab a bunch of different shots. All of the editing, all the movement, aside from the rotation, is gonna be done in post. And that's all I got, so yeah, let's start shooting. So quick side note, I did make a few minor tweaks to my setup. After taking some test shots and looking at them on a computer, there was a harsh shadow underneath the candy bar, which is totally not what I was going for. For commercials like this, I like to get a more even look, so I added another light underneath. Also added one more light hitting the backdrop because I was having some issues keying. When you're doing green screen work, having even lighting on the green screen helps a ton. If I learned anything from this shoot, it's that shooting food is just really challenging. The food's gonna have imperfections. It's gonna be tricky to work with. Dang it, I ruined it. I had a lot of trouble just getting the candy bars to stand upright, and even if I did everything right, most of the bars had little scuffs and nicks and imperfections, which obviously you don't want to see in a commercial like this. At the risk of sounding like a total idiot, I tried wiping away some of the cocoa dust and marks with just water. This is like touching up something in Photoshop in real life. Spoiler, it didn't work at all. So then I tried doing it with fire. So I technically have all the shots I want right now, but the problem was the Kit Kat bars I bought just were not very clean looking. There were marks, there were scuffs. They didn't look commercial grade, that's what I'm getting at. So I went to the store, bought some brand new candy bars just to kind of test my luck again, and the cashier literally dropped them when they were bagging them. Like all the candy bars dropped, hit the counter hard. But eventually by the end of the day, I did have some shots that were good enough. Okay, and now for the fun part, let's talk editing. So it's worth noting that I'm an Adobe user, so I edited this entire commercial inside Adobe After Effects. You can do a lot of this stuff in any program. I just find that After Effects is the best tool for me. Okay, so every shot in this commercial can be broken down into really just a few steps. The first step we'll call VFX Magic. So I use a 3-step keying process in After Effects to take out the background, starting with key light 1.2, followed by a key cleaner, and then an advanced spill suppressor. Now, in the past, I've really just used key light, but it wasn't quite getting the job done. Some shots are a little trickier, so I found sort of this 3-prong attack works better on trickier shots. Honestly, it's so satisfying to get a perfectly clean key. Feels like you have almost a 3D model of the product, like out of a video game or something. Which, I mean, technically in a way you kind of do. Okay, and then getting rid of the screw and the stick is sort of a combination of masking and content-aware fill. It's not a one-click solution, and you shouldn't expect it to be, but with a little work and a little trial and error, you should be able to get rid of it. Now, the unfortunate thing is, I had to do this for every shot, and it's a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, but personally, I don't like products just sitting on a table, and I don't like hands in my shots interacting with them. So if you want this sort of floaty, magical effect, this is the best way that I've found to achieve it. Now, the overall theme for this commercial was sort of fast-paced, attention-grabbing. I wanted it to be difficult to look away. That sounds almost evil. But when you're making a video like this, you want it to be snappy, you want it to be punchy, you want it to be attention-grabbing. So that's always sort of the goal here. If there wasn't text, there's product movement. If the product stops or isn't moving too much, there's text flying across the screen. Okay, so let's take a look at the first shot here. So that's it. It's just 1 second. Very quick, very attention-grabbing. Okay, so what I did here is obviously we've got our 3 text layers, we've got a background layer, and then I added a virtual camera and a point light. So all that's really happening is the text is changing, and the camera's moving forward, and eventually it goes through the O. Now, the simple way to do this shot would just be scale up the text, just increase the scale. What I like is when I add the camera movement, and I check these boxes here, we're actually getting motion blur in the shot. And by adding a point light, we have a much more interesting background. So here's with my light on, and here's with no lighting. So you can see that just feels kind of cheap and boring to me. But see, notice when we have that light, we've got that gradient. There's so much more depth in the shot. I think it makes it a lot better. Oh, and then I just masked in the center of the O as sort of a transition to the next shot. And this second shot has a lot going on. So let's play that real quick. So we're zooming in, we've got the chocolate bar falling into frame, it's spinning around, it's floating in midair, and then we've got this text animation going on behind it. So as I said before, we keyed out the chocolate bar, removed everything. That movement was actually shot in camera, so that rotation was done in camera, and then I just animated it to fall down by keyframing the position. Now, initially there was no text in this shot. The Kit Kat bar just fell down, and that was it, but it felt almost awkward. It was just lingering. You were just sitting there waiting for the next shot. So I had that text animated behind. It just says milk chocolate, sort of describing the product. And it just keeps that momentum, that rhythm going. It keeps that energy up. Okay, and the third shot is pretty much just a macro of the first shot. So again, initially this one was just the candy bar, and it felt empty. It felt, again, sort of awkward. It just didn't feel complete. So I added that text with some more descriptive words behind it, flying by, and on the last shot the focus was kind of more on the candy bar with the text in the background. This shot, the focus is more on that text. You're actually reading it. Okay, and then the fourth and fifth shots are just some spinning macro shots. Very simple. I didn't even have to key out the screw because it wasn't included in these shots. But the idea with these is to kind of build up tension, a little bit of mystery, suspense. You know, the pace slows down for a sec, and then we can ramp it up for the finale. This is something I like to do a lot in my commercials. I think it makes the last shot that much better. So that's what I did with the fourth and fifth shots. Nothing terribly fancy. So as you can see, they're just spinning and zooming in. Okay, and here's the last shot. This is a fun one. This has a lot going on, so let's watch it real quick. we have some lights, we have a virtual camera, and we have a bunch of pre-comps along with this logo at the end. So again, these lights are adding depth to the shot. If I uncheck them, you can see it's just really flat, really boring. This is how it would look if I just put a red background and slap my footage in there. I don't like it very much. So these lights add a lot of depth. Now, as you can see, we've got this camera movement moving towards the footage. Now, this ender actually took a lot of VFX Magic because I have this spinning unwrapped bar, which was a totally different shot. And then I also had the individual bars, which I had to do the same thing for. Now, spoiler alert, I only did this for one bar, so it's the exact same bar flying in 4 different directions, but it happens fast, there's motion blur, no one's ever gonna know. I mean, except all of you, because I just told you, but you know. So pretty much all the movement was just keyframed. The only kind of tricky part, and I've showed you guys this before, but it's just a little bit of code that gives you that vibrating shaking effect. This is essentially saying shake 10 times per second at a distance of 40 pixels, and this is randomly generated. And then the exploding part is really just kind of hiding those 4 individual bars in the motion blur, and then the logo's popping through. So yeah, there's sort of the breakdown for the commercial. I know we went kind of fast. Obviously, I can't deep dive into everything, but if there is a certain clip or a certain part and you want me to spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes breaking it down, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to do that. I just don't really know where to start. For the most part, these videos are just a general overview, and you can take little ideas and apply them to your own work. And if you do, please tag me on Instagram at Winiarski Josh. I'd love to see what you all make. Now, before you click away, honestly, these videos take a lot out of me. It's essentially like making 2 videos in one, because these commercials take a lot of work, and then I try and make a tutorial and a cohesive story out of it. So if these are helpful, if you do find value in these videos, please drop a like, leave a supportive comment down below, heck, leave an unsupportive comment down below. Just let me know what I can do better or what's super helpful to you guys. Anyways, that's it for me. Hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully you did get some value out of it. And as always, have fun, stay creative, and I'll see you all in the next one.